So you want to farm some cultists, huh? I don't blame you. In my opinion, they're the most lucrative boss farm in the entire game. The amount of marked keys, weapon attachments, and ammo you get off these guys will make you filthy rich in no time. Problem is, most people just don't know where to look or how to efficiently look for them, so that's why I made this guide. And just FYI, if you're looking at the length of the video and yeah, I'm not watching this, I don't blame you. You have all the info you need to hunt these guys down in the first few minutes of this video. The second part of this video is just a heavily edited compilation of a few night raids I did, with a voiceover explaining my methods, giving you kind of a POV into my farm. So let's get started. The most important thing to remember is the cultists only spawn at night, between 2200 and 0700 on the in-game clock. Every in-game hour is approximately 8.5 minutes in real life time, so once night hits, you have a little over an hour and 15 minutes to farm before the night cycle ends. Couple that with the fact they spawn only around 20% of the time, you want to prioritize getting in as many raids as possible in that hour and 15 minutes as you can. So that means straight to the spawn points, no looting scavs, no looting containers, only snagging the dog tags of PNCs you kill along the way just because there's so many good barter trades for them. The only exception I make for this is Rashala's bunkhouse, just because it's right in our farming path and there's so much good loose loot. Cultists also spawn on a variety of maps. On Shoreline, they can be at Resort, and the area around the swamp. Woods, they're at the Cultist Circle next to the sawmill, and in the Cultist Circle in the Northern Village. They also have a very small chance of spawning on Night Factory and Ground Zero 21+, with no official spawn points on those maps, and they can be anywhere. The last map they spawn, and by far the best map to farm them on, is Customs, which is where this entire video will be focused. Unlike the other maps where they have multiple spawn points, on Customs they only have one. They're around Stronghold, aka the Fortress. To make it even better, there are several extracts that are a stone's throw from their spawn point. You got Old Gas, Ruaf Checkpoint, and a guaranteed 100% uptime extract at Railroad Passage, which is why you should always bring a green flare. They fit in your special slot, so there's no reason not to bring one. Unless you forget. Feels bad, man. Touching on that point, let's talk about gear. Of course, green flares are a must, obviously. You can purchase the RSP-30 reactive signal cartridge from Jaeger, a max of 2 every reset, so I'd recommend just buying them on every restock just so you have a supply. They do get sold on the flea, but a lot of time the markup is absolutely atrocious, probably because they know cultist farmers are filthy rich and they're the ones that use them the most. Next up, you want some NVGs. The Armorsight N15s and the PNV-10T are available from Peacekeeper Loyalty Level 2 and Skier Loyalty Level 2, respectively. If you're new or freshly wiped, you might not have access to these quite yet, in which case a weapon with a flashlight will have to do. It's definitely not optimal, I've done it before, and it is infinitely more scary. Another thing of note that even if you have night vision, always bring a flashlight as well. Just because if you encounter PMCs or, heaven forbid, Rashala's guards, they tend to have flashlights, and if you've ever used NVG and get flashed with a flashlight, it's like peering into the surface of the sun and you'll be blinded. And especially with Rashala's guards, this momentary blindness will more than likely result in your death. If you know you're about to engage an enemy with a flashlight, flip up your NVGs and engage them with your own flashlight. Trust me, it'll make the encounter much easier. Ultimately, you want the L3 Harris GP NVG 18s, otherwise known as the Quad Nods. They are by far the best NVGs available, with a huge field of view, bright picture, great contrast. However, these first become available at Loyalty Level 3 with Peacekeeper, with a barter trade for a bottle of moonshine, so they're not going to be available for everyone. If you have your boost generator set up in your hideout, these are a no-brainer. Next up is armor. This is where I would spend most of my rubles because you're going to need it the most. You want something at least class 4, definitely one with side plates. Something with full coverage is a must, just because of the nature of cultist encounters. As soon as one pops up and engages you, you have others engaging you at your flanks at 90-degree angles, landing shots on your side with high penetration ammo. Slicks and hex grids look good on paper, until you're sent back to your stash with a thorax, armpit on your death screen. I would wear a level 4 armor or rig with 360-degree coverage over a level 6 front and back plate carrier every single time. Again, these might be hard to acquire right off the bat, but killing a few PMCs who are dumb as rocks in PvE will net you a ton of high-level armors and rigs, so just farm a few beforehand and stock up your stash. Next up is weapons. This is pretty flexible. Find something that gives you the most accuracy at a high volume of fire. High pen ammo is not a necessity for cultist farming. Yes, they do wear a wide variety of armor from P.A.K.As all the way up to slicks, but they never wear helmets. Some of them wear face coverings, like masks and gas masks, but they never wear a helmet. Pair that with the fact that they all have shaved heads, and are highly visible against the dark clothing, means you should be trying to dome these guys with every encounter. Any ammo works great, and low pen, high damage ammo is available from various traders from level 1. Scopes tend to be more difficult to use with cheaper night vision. Even Razors or Voodoos, which are amazing scopes, have a noticeable darkening effect with zoomed in with NVGs. Quad nods negate this to an extent, although it's still noticeable. For cheaper NVGs, I would recommend a cheap holo or reflex sight. The EOTech XPS32 is my go-to with night vision. Grenades are also needed. 3 or 4 are preferred, but having at least one is mandatory. I'll talk about that later. A large backpack is also preferred for extracting out with rigs full of ammo, weapons, and valuables. I would also recommend a Docs case if you can acquire one. A barter trade is available from therapists at low to level 2 for a lion statue, cat figurine, and 4 horse figurines. These are great for expanding your pouch to hold currency and high-value keys that drop from cultists. Last but not least, meds. Bring lots of meds. Salewas, IFAKs or AFAKs, bandages, Calox, and sprints. I keep a lot in my pouch just in case, as well as a couple in my rigs for quick use. A surgery kit in your special slot is a must as well. On top of that, there are a couple stims that are useful for reasons I'll mention in a bit. With the gear portion out of the way, let's talk cultist behavior and stats. Like most bosses, they have increased health. 850 hit points for both priests and warriors. On customs, 4 warriors, in-game known as sectants, and 1 priest known as zruks will spawn. Cultists have no voice lines, and unlike other entities that open fire on you when you cross their line of sight, cultists will lie in wait and watch you, which makes them super creepy. Because of this, 90% of the time you encounter them, they will see you before you see them. When you get close enough to one of them, they spring to their feet with their knives out and run at you full speed. If they're able to close the distance and get you with a melee strike, you will receive the unknown toxin debuff from their cultist knife, which will quickly drain your health. This debuff does not wear off, it will tick for the rest of the raid, which is why I recommend lots of medkits, Propital, or ETGC just in case. Alternatively, you can use the XDG-12 or Perferdoran injectors to cure yourself completely, but these are a little harder to acquire, especially if you're low levels. The good news is a lot of the cultists themselves have these stims on them, so make sure to loot them quickly if you get the toxin. The goal when you trigger an ambush of a cultist is just to be ready and melt them before they get close. If you have good reaction time and are listening closely, this is pretty easy. They make the exact same noise your PMC does when you go from prone to standing. Couple this with the fact that they're usually laying in bushes, means you hear the brush rustling sound at the same time. If you hear these 2 noises simultaneously, out of the blue, you have a cultist and you better react accordingly. Like I said, if you have good reaction time, you can usually get the drop on the first one quickly, but this is where the hard part starts. When you kill the first one, the other 4 will spring to their feet, attempt to get you in line of sight, and open fire on you, most likely with suppressed weapons filled with high pen ammo. It is essential for you to constantly think, if I get ambushed here, where's the closest cover I can get to? And by cover, I specifically mean 360 degrees of cover. Boxcars, buildings, anything with 4 walls that you can safely hide in, because if you think you're behind cover, there's probably 2 cultists behind you to remind you that your cover sucks. This Deflaud by Crackhouse also works in a pinch. From here, you just need to be patient, because if you go back out looking for aggroed cultists, you're gonna get ventilated. Remember, you killed one of their buddies, so now they're not laying down with their knives out, they're laying down with guns. Their steps are quieter, but still very audible, so just hold an angle like you would any other NPC in the game and blast them when they come around a corner. There will always be 1 or 2 that will run back and hide and wait for you. Because you only have 1 or 2 shooting at you instead of 4, it gets a little easier this time to find cover. This is where grenades come in handy. You can get them out of cover and sprinting with well-tossed grenades, and if they're sprinting, they're not shooting. Perfect time to blast them. Like I said before, they have no emotes, so using grenades to bait them into yapping doesn't work on cultists. With 1 or 2 left, cautiously leave your cover but move quickly from smaller cover to smaller cover. Walking around in the open is a great way to get shot. You may find yourself walking directly over the top of them, so again, be mindful of that 2-part sound of standing from prone combined with rustling bushes. If you hear it, quickly snap your aim and you may catch yourself a cultist. Also an important thing to remember, if scavs or other PMCs come into range of cultists you've aggroed, they'll begin to attack those as well. This has come in handy for me on a few occasions, as they tend to use suppressed weapons that PMCs and scavs rarely, if ever, use. The sound of a suppressed SKS or a suppressed SVD are very unique, and these are common weapons used by cultists. If you stick around for the POV portion of my video later, you'll see this very thing happen, and I used it to my advantage perfectly. So again, key points. Always be thinking of the fastest route to strong 360 degree cover. Listen for the prone to stand and bush rustling sound simultaneously. When you kill the first cultist, know you're about to come under fire from the other 4. And be patient. Wait in solid cover after the initial ambush. You may get lucky and have them present themselves as an easy target. And once you've killed all 5, at least on customs, your job is done and you can collect your loot. All the warriors tend to have weapons with high tier ammo but empty pockets. You also find a random assortment of miscellaneous loot on them as well, including wishlist items and valuables. On the rare occasion you may find a valuable key as well. The priest tends to have goofy weapons with dogshit ammo, but insane loot in the pockets, including valuables and those juicy marked keys. They rarely have backpacks. Now that you know how to fight them when you find them, let's talk about probably the hardest and most annoying part of cultist farming: finding them in the first place. I'll show you the route I take, but first I need to talk a little bit about the dynamics of spawns and how they affect the chances of finding cultists, and how to use these tricks to increase your efficiency when you're farming them. The most important thing is knowing that when you load into a fresh map, the game tries its very hardest to make sure all of the entities on the map are evenly spread out. That's why you'll never spawn directly next to a scav, a boss, or another PMC that's not in your group. I'm sure some of you PvPers would beg to differ when playing Lighthouse, but that has more to do with map design than spawn calculations. Now, because the game tries its hardest to spread out entities evenly, sometimes the spawn location of a scav, a boss, or even your own PMC can affect whether or not the cultist will spawn. Let's say you're running around Crackhouse in the first minute or 2 of the map, and you find 2 scavs, right where the cultist spawn point would be. You automatically know, because the game has chosen to spawn scavs there, that they have taken the place of a cultist spawn point, and thus cultists will not spawn. Also, your very own spawn point can affect the spawn of cultists. There are certain PMC spawn points that are essentially right on top of a cultist spawn, namely right beside Ruaf Extract next to the hole in the wall, and the brush-filled alleyway behind the warehouse next to Old Gas. Because the game has spawned you there, it has chosen not to spawn the cultist there. So if you find yourself spawning there, you know one of the spawn points for the cultist is now occupied, thus you can skip sweeping that entire spawn point and check the others. This same concept applies to AI PMC spawns, because they're an entity in the game just like you, thus the same rules apply. To cap this point off, and by far the biggest indicator of whether or not cultists have spawned, is if Reshala and his guards are occupying Stronghold, or the area around it. Reshala spawning essentially means all of the potential spawn points for cultists are occupied, meaning a Reshala spawn means no cultist spawns. However, one key thing to remember is that even though cultists can spawn when the map begins, they can spawn randomly in the middle of a map, if those conditions I talked about previously are met. So if you find Reshala, decide to engage him because his guards do have some awesome ammo and armor, and kill them, and there are no scavs or PMCs around after you do it, cultists can spawn right at this time. I know a lot of you read my epic raid post that I made a few days ago. This very thing happened to me. So just because the cultists didn't spawn when the map started doesn't mean they can't still spawn midway through the raid given the right conditions. In any light, if you're cultist hunting and you do find Reshala, it's much more efficient to quickly run away and extract. It's also much safer because they're very tough and they can kill you very easily, even if you're very geared. Just be sure you're not in line of sight of his guards when you make your way to one of the extracts. His guards are notoriously deadly and will beam you from obnoxious distances. Now, last but not least, I know I said this would be quick, but it's a little more long-winded than I would like, but let's talk about the path that I like to farm. You can essentially split the map into a misshapen pie, and where you spawn in that pie decides where you should enter into the cultist area and begin your sweep. If I spawn on the west side of the map, such as by Streamer House, I head this way, down the tracks, behind the warehouse 4, through the hole in the wall. These marked areas are the places I've encountered the cultists the most, so they're areas I focus on. I've heard stories of them being in the grass, east of Old Gas, or by Skeleton, but in my early runs cultist farming, I never found them once, only ever in these highlighted areas. I've done approximately 150 to 200 cultist runs at this point, and about 100 I include those previously mentioned parts and never saw them once, so I just skip them now. So as I come through the hole in the wall, I'm scanning this area in the grass here, through the doorway to the wall here, and peering into Stronghold. Sometimes Resh and his guards will be standing on the first floor and will spot you, so I always preemptively hold this angle in case they're there. This grassy area here is by far the most dangerous because of the very limited cover. These wood piles seem like solid protection, but you'll get flanked in seconds after an initial ambush. My best advice would be to beeline back through the door you came through, or run up the berm and over the tracks into this depression here. You'll have decent protection from all their positions, and will also have a good chance of a couple of them trying to rush you after you take cover, making them easy targets as they crest the top of the hill. If they haven't spawned here, and you're not sure if Reshala is up, you could do one trick that I found that makes your runs much faster. Rather than spending time methodically sweeping both floors of Stronghold and potentially risking your life on an unexpected encounter, I like to use what I call a feeler nade. That's where the one mandatory grenade I talked about earlier comes in. Because of the nature of enemy AI in Tarkov, they will alert as soon as a grenade leaves your hand. So I cook a grenade, throw it up to the second floor, and listen. If you hear several scav emotes and Rashala's emotes, his voice is a lot different than the others. You'll know Rashala is up and the map is no-go for cultists. If you throw a nade, hear silence, you know Stronghold is clear, and you're free to easily pass through and continue your farm. Approaching the other side, I methodically check these berms, carefully scanning for corpses, because cultists are lying prone and a lot of the time they look like dead scavs, so be mindful. You only have to greedily try to loot a corpse once, only to have it stand up and stab you in the face to develop a deep sense of paranoia. Continue checking these berms here, reminding yourself that this ditch with the sewer pipes and this building will be great for cover when you find them. This is a great time to hit up Rashala's room if you have the key. From here, continue sweeping the brush and grassy areas around Crack House, as well as the bushes with the messenger body, and extract a Ruaf to save your flare. If you spawn near Streamer House, Ruaf checkpoint will be open for you. If you spawn to the south of the map, such as by a broken wall, near the derailed train, or near the power station by old gas, follow the railroad tracks until you get to the open door in the fence. And at this point you'll converge on the previous entry point to the culture spawn area, so follow the same firing path as you did previously. If you spawn on the east side of the map, such as by Crossroads, Trailer Park, or Big Red, simply follow the opposite pathing. Cross the river via the land bridge, and then use the same pathing you took previously in reverse. Starting with the grass around Ruaf and Crack House, hitting Resh's bunkhouse if you have the key, and continuing towards Fortress. Throw your feeler nade to the second floor, listen for emotes, and either extract via railroad exfil or see if old gas is open if you hear Rashala. Old gas is always preferred if it's up, just to save your flare. If Resh isn't up, continue carefully through Stronghold to the other side, checking the grassy area in the middle. Remember, this is the most dangerous section due to the lack of cover, so approach cautiously. If you get ambushed here, ideally you want to drop the one rushing you quickly and run back to Fortress as fast as you can. If you're caught out in the middle, in the grass, there's a good chance you're gonna get killed. I like to go to this door and check this grassy area next to the hole in the wall, and then double back to extract. And that's pretty much it. If you don't have cultist spawns, you want your runs to be about 3 or 5 minutes apiece, and then quickly extract and reset. This not only saves time, but it also limits the need for you to consume food and drink between raids, as well as conserving ammo, wasting it on more scavs and PMCs that you would inevitably encounter the longer you're in the raid. Armed with these tips, I hope you guys can greatly increase your chances of not only finding cultists, but killing them quickly and efficiently, and making fat rubles selling their keys or using the keys yourself to get the amazing loot that drops from the marked rooms. That concludes the informational part of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you're tuning out here, good luck and happy hunting. But if you want to stick around, I'll show you these tips in action, ending with a successful hunt. Let's get to it.
All right, here we go. Raid number 1. By the crumbled wall in between dorms and new gas. It's a good spawn. I'll head towards the fence on the railway. I can already hear PMCs and scavs shooting at the sniper, which is a bad sign. Can already tell there's going to be no spawns on this side, based on what we know. So we move over here. That's kind of rude. Anyway. Get to Fortress, and I like to do what I call a feeler nade. So we'll toss a nade up there. And if Rashala and his goons are up there, you'll hear them voice line as soon as you throw the grenade. But we don't hear any emote, so we know Rashala's not there, which is good. Increases our chances for cultists. We cut through to the other side. Checking the grass and the bushes. Moving nice and slow. Trying to stay out of the bushes. And one time, I was actually running from cultists that spawned. And I ran over here, and one was laying under this tree and scared the shit out of me. So now I check it almost every time. Haven't found anything quite yet, though. Still looking, still looking. Haven't seen anything. They love to spawn right there by that fence as well. Not seeing anything. It's not looking good for this run. Nonetheless, I keep clearing. Run her, give her a little lap around Crack House. Just to check. Nothing there. this grass over here, these bushes. Sometimes they're in here. Not this time, though. Check Rashal's room. Old cabin key. Garbage. Military cable. And a cat. Not bad. It's a nice little consolation prize when you don't get cultists. And then we hit up Ruaf for the extract. Save our flare. And on to raid number 2. We start over by Big Red, which is really, really good. Start making our way over. Get to Ruaf. Haven't got any scavs yet, which is good. I like to check here because I found one once. It scared the living shit out of me because it was laying right next to the messenger body. And I thought it was the messenger body coming alive. Still got PTSD. But anyway, let's keep going. Scanning through the bushes. Seen him here a couple times. Scanning the bushes. Scanning the bushes. Looking for sniper scav. See if he's up. I don't see him, but that doesn't mean he's not there. Keep making our way around. Check Rashal's room again. SAS drive. Not bad. Oh, old combat machete on the floor. 50k to Jaeger. Skull ring. Nice. Put those in my butt, just in case. And we keep going. Always check right here. I've seen them a few times laying right next to that fence. They'll have to pop out right as you come around the corner. And we continue on our normal path, checking these little berms. The first time I ever fought cultists was right here, so I always check this. He was laying right there. And still no sniper scav. Maybe he's on the other side, maybe he's not there. Not looking good for over here. Keep scanning around. Do my feeler nade, and scav scares the shit out of me. Take him out, and then one appears right by the gun, which I think he's going to get on the gun, and scares me even more. And then I try my feeler nade. No emotes. Good sign. Go around the back here. And I would say probably 50% of the time they're laying in the grass, this grassy area here with the bushes. Very, very often do they spawn there. That's a really, really good spawn right there. But it's a little empty on this one. And then I hear a scav, which kind of confirms that they're not here. Take him out. And just in case, I check through this door over here. Because a couple times I've found them laying on the grass. Inside this little area right here. Under these trees. But not on this one, unfortunately. Take the train and head back out. Number 3, we're by Crossroads. Good sign. It's a good spawn. And I stop and realize that I forgot to buy a flare because I'm an idiot. And then I check the time. It's almost probably the last raid of this night cycle anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So we make our way over to Ruaf. See the sun coming up. This late in the night cycle, night vision gets really, really good because that ambient light that comes through from the sun coming up amplifies everything, makes it a lot easier to see, makes everything brighter. So when you find cultists around this time, it's actually really, it's a really beneficial. So And there's a scav. Bad sign. He's kind of a dickhead. This ammo is 1,200 rubles a round, so I try to conserve it as best I can. And sniper scav, which is even further confirmation that they're not on this side. I can't even see them. They love to lay down after they shoot at you. So I check Rashala's room while I'm here. A little stim. Nice. Green bat. Nice. And an egg. Nice. And we head back out. Safe to say I can just sprint to Fortress at this point because I know they're not going to be here. And another scav, of course. If you hear footsteps and you haven't encountered the cultists yet, it's safe to say they're not there. You'll never hear cultists just walking around. They'll always be laying prone, just waiting. So, the only time you'll hear them walk is if you've already aggroed them. So, we do a little feeler nade. And I bounce and almost kill myself with it. But there was no emotes, so Rashala's not there. Good sign. Head to the other side. Check this little area again. This is the prime spot here. Always check this. You can see how the sun coming up makes it a lot brighter. You can see everything. So if they spawn around this time for you, like it's best case scenario. Because it's really, really hard for them to hide. But, unfortunately, looks like we got skunked again. Check this little area just in case. And then we go up. I'm going to check if old gas is there. I check to see if I've got another time for another raid, and I don't. Check for the smoke. It's hard to see with the night vision on, so I take night vision off. No smoke, so time to take the scenic route. Now you can wait until the next night cycle hits, or you can take a nod from Harley, who's an admin in this group, and do nighttime factory while you wait for the actual night cycle to come around, which is a really good tip. I never even thought of that. Raid number 4. And this is the beginning of the next night cycle. And here we are by the other end of the bridge by Big Red. Good sign. Over to Ref again. Checking the bushes, checking the bushes. And sniper scav, of course. Bad sign. I shoot at him. And he lays down like a dickhead. I hate the sniper scavs. They're so annoying. But just in case, pretty deliberate with my sweep. Just because Sniper Scav is there doesn't necessarily mean the cultists aren't there. It just... And then there's the Scav, which kind of confirms that they're not here. Remember, they share spawn spaces, so if you see them in the same spawn, then they're taking a cultist spawn point. Another green bat here. PPSH, which I pick up by accident. Get out of here. Little cat. Nothing much else. And onward. Can pretty much sprint to Fortress at this point. And no drill at this point. Feeler nade. No emotes. No Rashala. Always good. Even if it's just Rashala taking a spawn at the cultist, it's good just not to have him fuck with you. Because if you don't check for him and you start going around the building, there's a good chance he's going to see you and his guards will just light you up. They're by far more dangerous than the cultists are. So, always be on the lookout for Rashala. Again, we're checking the little grassy area over here, scanning around. Not looking good on this one, guys. Sometimes that's just the luck of the draw. RNG can be a cruel mistress. Here's scavs in here, so that's confirmation. No cultists. I murdered this one here, and I think I find like some sugar on him or something, which is cool. Makes him moonshine. Or some BP ammo. That works too. I like BP around these parts. And check this little area back here, just in case. Old gas is up, so take that, save my flare, and head out. Number 5. We're over by the military checkpoint this part, so that's a good sign. And keep in mind, very rarely, Rashala and his goons will be on this hill. I've had this happen a couple times where I'm just running through because I think they're going to be at New Gas, and they're actually on the hill, and it's pretty much no man's land. They'll just start lobbing grenades, and you're pretty much screwed. So you can see here that I'm really cautious going through here. I take the wide way around this little power station. They can be in between this power station and New Gas on the hill, on those little rock outcroppings. So just be careful for that if you're ever in this area. And I hear footsteps and immediately start freaking out. But it's just a single scav. I'm already spooked, so get the hell out of here. And we're back at the hole in the fence. And I hear scavs. Bad sign. Hear all kinds of them. PMC's in there too. Ash 12 is so fun to use. And then we can pretty much just sprint our way to Fortress at this point. Check for Rashala. I realize I've forgotten grenades. So now we gotta do it the old-fashioned way. Check corners. Be super careful. Because Rashala and his goons they barely make any noise. They'll stand perfectly still. There's no emotes. They won't talk to each other. Occasionally one of them will spin around and make a little scuffling noise on the floor, but that's about it. You think you might hear one scav, and it's Rashala and his goons, and they just murder you instantly. I use this opportunity to check the fortress and get a little vantage point, see if I can't see anybody laying down. Usually there's a little ammo box over here, BT or BS. It's not there this time. So we lost a little time on this one, having to clear the fortress manually. So we exit out the side, and we go right back to looking for cultists. Checking. Check my normal hotspot. I check this spot every single time I run this. My first ever cultist spawn, so I always check it. I think you hear footsteps. And it's scav in this building here. Run through here. Check this random spot. Nothing. Not looking good for this one either. Checking Rashala's room. Another little stim. Sweet. Pro kill medallion. And I hear the scav. And yep. No cultists. Screwed again. This one I was heading to Ruaf and about to extract, and a plane flew directly overhead and dropped a weapon crate. So, figured why not? Another minute or two. Really wasn't good anything for weapons, but there was quite a bit of ammo that I took, including some Ash 12 ammo, which was nice. And I just took the AK just to vendor to mechanic for extra rubles. Number 6. Spawn over by Streamer House. Good spawn. We start hoofing over there.
Fucker, straight ahead.
This is why you always bring a flashlight. I don't know why I didn't use it then. I got really lucky right there. That guy could have killed me. That's why flashlights really suck with night vision. At least getting shot with a flashlight. Can't see shit. So normally I flip up my NVGs and turn on my flashlight. Makes it easier to see them. I was a little panicked on that one. I didn't expect that. But med myself up and keep on plugging on. Check this spot here. Nope. Peering through, seeing if I can see Rochelle's guards. Don't see anything. Nothing in that bush. And there's a scav. God damn it. No cultists on this side. I think I see another one, but my eye playing tricks on me. Been doing this too long. Feeler nade. We brought nades this time. No emotes. No Rochelle. Nice. And your footsteps. And we got scabs. Bummer. No cultists. Better luck next time. But I like to cling to hope, and sometimes I'll do extra special check just to make sure. Hit up Rochelle, little clock, little AK that sucks. And that's about it. And extract. Reset. Back at it. These raids are taking about 4 or 5 minutes, in case you're wondering. I'm cutting them down a little bit. Number 7, we're raiding Streamer House again. Start booking it there. And there's a scav right on the railroad, right on one of the cultist spawns. Starting to get a little irritated at this point. But like I said, RNG is RNG. Sometimes I got 3 in a row earlier today. And I've done ones with 20, and this scav somehow has an impenetrable circle of protection around him as I waste my 1200 ruble around ammo on it. Fortress. Feeler nade. Almost blow myself up. But there are no emotes, so I guess that's good. So we truck through to the other side. I think I see something, but maybe I'm just hallucinating. This is kind of the break of it, guys. You can really do these over and over and over again and not see shit. And it feels like you're doing something wrong, but you're not. It's just RNG, playing tricks on you. And again, a scav, so we know there's no cultists. A little car key. I'll take it. Little cat. Skull ring. Nice. And a roller. Hey. Rochelle key really does make your attempts that you don't get cultists, make it a little bit worth it. Get a little bit of your money back. Make it kind of worth your time a little bit. So we extract again. Here comes number 8. And we're right by Old Gas. Probably the worst spawn you can get, because you yourself are taking up an entire spawn that could be used for the cultists. So I'm starting to get really pissed off at this point. Sniper scav. Fucking immortal. I'm getting really pissed. Feeler nade. Or do I just run through? Yeah, I don't even check on this one. I remember. I'm getting so pissed off. I'm just like, if Rochelle is here, you can just take my life. It is what it is. But he wasn't here. Again. And Scav's running around on the other side. I'm fuming at this point. I figured just because I was filming a guide for you guys that the Tarkov gods were going to screw me out of cultist spawns over and over and over. And I was right. So here we are, raid number 8. Still no cultists. Just the way she goes, guys. But keep in mind, I've been doing this for under an hour. So these are very, very short raids when I realize that I don't have cultist spawns. Get a clock and a vase, which is better than nothing, I guess. And we reset. Raid number 9. Over by Big Red, across the bridge. It's a good sign. We're getting later into the night cycle again. I'm just checking to see if there's any ambient light. Still pretty dark. Here we are by Ruaf. Checking. I'm here a couple times, so I always check these bushes. Always looking for scavs as well. Scavs are kind of the canary in the coal mine. More scavs spawn, cultists don't. So just here, PMC's in there.
What the fuck? Where is he?
I don't know, bro. I don't know. And look at what I find on this run. We got the full auto Saiga with a drum mag.
Take this, you motherfuckers! Ha!
Pretty sweet. I've never found this before. I was like, huh. It's got a little zombie outbreak response team emblem on the back of it, which I thought was pretty cool. I was like, I'll take that. It's for fun. Haven't seen any scavs yet, so we're scanning like we normally do. Hit Fortress. Feeler nade. No emotes. No Rashala. And that shotgun is super heavy, so I'm like already not regenerating stamina. Looking around. And what do we have here? You little son of a bitch. Ugly little fucker, isn't he? Just waiting. If I got 2 steps closer to him, he would have jumped up at me. So here, my heart's beating. I'm going to drop this. Hope he doesn't hear it. Drop my bag. Hope he doesn't hear it. And then the priest is laying right there. By now, I'm trying to figure out what the hell I'm going to do. Which one do I shoot first? So I think I'm going to take the priest first, so I take a couple steps back. And I trigger the priest. Bam. Headshot. Looks at me. Headshot. 2 down. Off the rip. This is like best case scenario. The other ones start opening up on the scavs because I've aggroed all of them. I killed the scav they're shooting at because I thought it was a cultist. And there's one right there. It's a few shots in. I got like level 6 armor on, so good luck, buddy. I hear another one with an SVD, a silenced SVD. Comes running at me. Toast. 4 out of 5 dead. I am on cloud 9 at this point. However, the last one can be the worst one. They love to lay down in the bushes, wait for you, and they will shoot at you as they're laying down. They normally don't do that until you aggro them. So I got 4 of them down. There's only 1 left, so I get a little brave. Normally you wouldn't do this if there's more than one, because they will just flank you, pincer you. They're pretty deadly when they want to be. So I checked the normal hangout spot for them over there. Don't see any. I really make sure to clear this area out because they will wait for you to get within feet. I hear a little scuffle of feet. I stop. Not sure where it came from. I hear a silenced weapon. Start freaking out. It's pretty far off, so I'm scav here. Kill him. So I go towards the silenced weapon, and I hear one on the other side. So now I'm like, what the fuck? Where do I go? So I start going here south of Fortress. Don't find anything. Come back into Fortress. Looking around. Sometimes they lay inside as well. Then I hear footsteps. There he is. He turned on me and then swung, but I got him. 5 out of 5. Probably my cleanest cultist kills I've ever had. Didn't get hit once. Well, I did get hit in armor, but I guess that doesn't count. Cultist knife on this guy. 35 round mags, full of BP ammo. We love it. Pick up my backpack. And where's my auto shotty that I picked up? I left it right there. Where is it? This little shithead stole it. What a dick. I'll take your suppressor for that, if you don't mind. He also had a hex grid plate carrier, but I didn't really have room for it. Or I wasn't going to have room for it. Go back and clear out all these guys, and then here, contact. And of course, these two little shitheads show up. Perfect timing. I can tell they're not hitting me with probably like M882 ammo, because they're just not doing anything to my armor. Not taking any damage. But I'm worried about getting shot in the face, so I take it really seriously. I see him in between. Oh, shooting at me. His buddy runs in front. Drop one there. See if he tries to peek the other side. There he is. And he's down. There was only 2 of them, so I go right back into looting. Taking all my ammo. Run to this guy I killed on the tracks. You can see sometimes they wear the GP5 respirator, which makes it really easy to see. And this guy's got an SVD, silenced SVD. Sweet. Steal those 2 mags. Usually the warriors don't have anything in their pockets besides grenades. And this guy's got another silenced SVD. Grab a backpack real quick. I don't have any room for both of them, so I put my Ash 12 in my backpack because I know the extract's right there, and I got a Kimbo SVDs, which is pretty sweet. And then the priest. I always save the priest for last because he's got the best loot. And the shitty little Keter, cultist knife. It's got a Desert Eagle though. Keter mags, Deagle mags, grenade, Polykim, RBBK, and Labs armband. Not bad. I've had worse, I've had better. But that was a really clean kill, so that's just easy rubles right there. And of course he's got the shittiest ammo on God's green earth. I look around, and now that I look at it, I probably did have room for that hex grid. Kind of kicking myself at this point. But me and my tubby ass head for the extract, and because I'm a greedy loot goblin, I hit the ground cache on my way there. And I find a bastion, which is sweet. Not much else. And then we out. Solid raid. And you can see here, 13-minute raid, almost 18k XP. Pretty sweet. I go over the kill list just to make sure I got all of them. 4 warriors, 1 priest. And here's my spoils. Got some knives, got the Deagle, got about 180 rounds of BP ammo, got a few rounds of SMB, grenade, got those mark keys, got 2 SVDs with the suppressors. Suppressors, I think, are like 40k a piece, 45k. And the SVDs you can just vendor. Plus I got my full auto shotty, which is pretty sweet. Can't even sell it yet because I'm not level 40, but the first 100 of 100 is 180k rubles. I don't know if the people will buy it, but that's a lot. Even just the drum is 41k, so I thought that was pretty awesome. And we got random valuables. We got that Bastion helmet, of course. Got the suppressor from one of the warriors. Not a bad run. Pretty sweet. Hope you guys like this. And if you want me to make more, then I may make more. But for sticking around, I appreciate you guys. Have a good day. Thank you.